Hello, welcome to Tuesdays with Grace, and this is Rachel with Tech Takeover. I'm here to cover all different kind of issues that you may experience and how to troubleshoot and solve them. Right now, we are going over an issue called tracing and not sewing. At the current moment, you see on my screen, the needle is not up. This can be a sign that it's tracing and not sewing. It's not always a sign, but it can be one indicator. Let's click OK. And let's click sew and see if it sews. It's connected and everything. We're just seeing if it works. Uh-oh, the needle's not up. Wonder why. Right now it should be taking its initial stitches, and it's not, so something's going on. Uh-oh, it's not taking stitches. So we're gonna stop this and troubleshoot to see how we can solve it. Let's exit out of this and just go back to our design. I want you to sew outside the software. In order to sew outside the software, this should not say quilt motion. This should give you options of what to sew. You can take your machine off to the side and test it for a few different things. I would have you go into manual mode and sew a little bit to see if it sews. Since this is sewing, we want to go to the back and see if this right here is occupied. I actually took this out to create this problem. This cable right here needs to be connected. This is the cable that talks between your quilt motion right here, this black board, to your sewing machine right here. I would take out the cable from both and make sure it clicks in both ends. Like this. You can probably hold your carriage to brace yourself a little bit. Click and hold your sewing machine right here, click, and it's connected. Now, go ahead and see if that solved your problem. Oh, it made some stitches. So it's actually communicating now. But say that didn't work. Say that taking out the cable and putting it back in didn't fix the problem. Let's reseat the sewing boards to make sure that they're fully connected. If you're in the back, it's on the right side of your machine. If you're in the front, it's on the left side of your machine, right underneath here. Put the cables to the side, put your hand underneath, and feel around for the ridges underneath the ports. Once you feel those, push up and pull out. Set this cover to the side. Now, don't be afraid. Take your finger and pull this out. And then put this board to the side. And take the finger again and pull this board out and put it to the side. This board is your USB board. It is the main board that your tablet talks to and tells it what to do. It's what this USB-B plugs into. But this isn't causing the problem. It's this board, your sewing board. This board is a different board for every machine that we service. For Unique machines, for Juki, for Nulting, or Baby Lock, we have different sewing boards for this. Now, one thing we can do is just simply reseat it to see if this fixes the problem. Go ahead, after you take it out, put it back in. Oh, and make sure, good thing I did this, just show you, make sure that the smaller box is on the top and not the bigger box. Otherwise, you can't put it back in. So put the smaller box on top and put it on the rails, slide it until it can't move back anymore. And you can make sure that it's in there by trying to pull it out. If there's some resistance, then it's in there. If it slips out, it's not in there, and you need to put it on the prongs where it's in the back. Now take your cover and make sure it slides like this and clicks. Put your cables in. Make sure that clicks. Can be a little hard. Then take this and make sure that clicks. That's your sewing cable. Now go ahead and see if it sews. If it still does not sew and your sewing machine can sew by itself, then I would call tech support. Tell them what you've done. They may have you do a few other things. If that doesn't work, they will send you a new board and a new cable according to what type of machine that you have. If you have a Juki, you get a Juki sewing board because every sewing board is particular for every different sewing machine. And you might get a cable as well. When you get your new sewing board, replace your old sewing board. Pull this off and only pull out the old board, which is right here. It should look just like the new board. Put it to the side and put the new board in. Make sure the small box is on top and the big box is on the bottom. Slide it on the rails, push it back till it can't be pushed back anymore and it has some resistance. If it just falls out without any resistance, then it is not in. Slide the cover on, which can sometimes be a struggle. Make sure it clicks. Now if you have a new cable, take out your old cable, like this, and connect it first to your sewing machine. If you wonder which one goes into which one, it doesn't matter. They have both the same endings. So yeah, plug it in and then plug this in. Make sure it clicks. There's the click. Now if somehow that still does not work, call tech and we will help you. Now let's go and see what happens if your machine is not sewing. If you're in Precise and you sew and it's not sewing like it should, something's wrong with your encoders. You can also make sure that it's with your encoders by going to manual, which does not depend on encoders to sew. Clicking sew, then it's your encoders. To fix your encoders, I would stitch a box to see which encoder you need to fix. If you are moving back and forth and it's not sewing, it is the top encoder. If you're moving left to right and it's not sewing, it is the bottom encoder. Right here is the top encoder. It is not working, and we can see why. And the bottom encoder, which is right here on your frame, is working. But to troubleshoot, I'm just going to troubleshoot this encoder. And this encoder is the same as the bottom encoder for troubleshooting. Make sure first that the cable is plugged in like this. This cable was not plugged in. That it's riding on the track as well. This is not riding on the track. It might be a little scary, but this is a soft metal right here. Push it up, like so, till it's on the track. Now, if you're lifting it up and it kind of just falls, the spring is not engaged. This right here, this lock collar, that engages the spring. Take your 4mm wrench first. Make sure it's tight. It wasn't tight, so that's a good thing we checked. That works for the big screw. Like that. Okay. And then take your 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, move this lock collar in the up position to engage the spring right here. Make sure it's 12 o'clock position. Put your 2.5 into the small little screw and screw it so it stays right there and the lock collar is engaged. There we go. If it's still not sewing correctly, you may need a new cable that goes from here to here. But if you go to manual and it doesn't sew, then you have more than just an issue with your encoders. I would suggest you call technical support, and you may need to take your machine in for a repair. One other thing is make sure your software is updated. Go to help, click about, sewing machine information. We did not have our 16 selected. Check to see if your sewing machine is selected and your software is updated, and if you are still experiencing issues, call technical support and we will help you. Thanks for watching Tech Takeover with Tuesdays with Grace.